r/ask Reddit. What is clearly a scam but is so normalized people don't notice? I just paid for the privilege of setting up my router. My cable company recently started trying to charge me for my router, which I own. I got a notice saying we noticed an error in billing and we will be charging you for the equipment rental starting in December. The duck you will. I have every receipt from every cable or phone transaction I've ever done for that exact reason. I paid outright for my router so I won't be renting their shitty equipment at $12 a month. Now they want to charge me for my own property. After receiving that notice I hopped right onto customer service to get it resolved, and they directed me to their loyalty department because they could best handle it over there. I cut off the conversation and just cancelled my service. Cable companies are pure scum. Must be nice to have other providers to choose from. Mobile game ads that show gameplay of a Call of Duty or Skyrim style game but in reality are just a spin-off of Candy Crush. Don't forget those game ads that pretend to be puzzle games where you pull pins. Looking at you. Homescapes. Rent to own furniture and appliances. There was an episode of Hotel Impossible where the owner rented the couch in her lobby on a weekly basis for years. She could have bought multiple couches with the money she spent on that one couch she doesn't even get to keep. Manufacturers refusing documentation to private repair enterprises and requiring you to get your products fixed by the dealer. Basically, the reason for the right to repair movement. Ah yes, I used to work with John Deere and they were terrible about it. Farmers are looking for older equipment because they don't have those software lockouts. Agreed. When the crop is coming in, it has to be harvested now, not 3 weeks from now. What John Deere wants: tractor brakes. Put it on a truck, ship it to the nearest repair facility, which may be hundreds of miles away, put it in the repair queue, wait until it's fixed, then truck it back to the farm, hundreds of miles away. In the meantime the crop has spoiled. What farmers want: tractor beaks. Pull out the diagnostic scanner, check the codes, repair it on the spot, go back to harvesting. Total time, less than a day. For a farming supply company, John Deere doesn't seem to care much about farmers. Ticketmaster. The Verizon $1 scam. Verizon tacked on a $1 fee onto 8% of their customers' bills each month, so over the course of the year, they did it to every customer, about 150 million. Their rationale was, 50% wouldn't notice and just pay the charge, or would notice and wouldn't spend any time fighting a $1 charge. 50% would notice the charge and call to have it removed. Of those, 35% would get frustrated while on the call and give up. This added approximately $120 million to the bottom line each year. 3 total, until caught. Once caught, they paid a $25 million fine. That's actually a really smart idea. Illegal but really smart. Those registries that people pay money to name a star. I keep seeing advertisements on FB for companies that will give you official lord or ladyship for like $50, based on giving you the title to a small parcel of land somewhere like Scotland. I googled one of them once, and the first result was a breakdown of why the company is fraudulent and doesn't actually have access to any land anywhere. I bought my friend 1 square foot of land in Scotland through a legit company. They are actually a forest preserve and do this to raise awareness and interest in forest preservation. It is super cute and they send update newsletters about your land. They offer tours as well. Definitely lots of scam knockoffs though. I've seen the name a star thing that was legit through my city's space and science center. The money goes to funding kids programs, but never buy anything off Facebook. That's just asking to be ripped off. Funerals and everything to do with them. The funeral industry has insane pricing. Some of the funeral homes and vendors are even predatory, getting grieving families to pay upwards of tens of thousands of dollars, because that's what the deceased would have wanted. You didn't love your father at all, did you? Was the question that had me slam my fist down on the table. My dad wanted a cardboard box cremation and no memorial. He got a cardboard box cremation and no memorial, with zero upselling from a different cremation service. The state AG got a complaint about the first cremation service. That is some hot garbage. Make sure you go back and leave a Google review for them also if you haven't already done so. People sometimes forget that you can review anything. I am sure I have cost my old bedbuggy slumlords many potential tenants. Printer ink. Buy a laser printer. Expensive upfront but pennies in the long run. Most come with scan fax features that comes in handy in the new work from home era. I did exactly this. Changed out from inkjet to a color laser. Pretty penny upfront. Long term cost has been maybe 1% the total cost of using an inkjet long term. I do not like saying never, but I will indicate that I am incredibly hesitant to any plans for a purchase of an inkjet for the foreseeable future. Often, the point isn't the not noticing, but the having a lack of better alternatives. I hate Amazon as a company, but sometimes there is literally no alternative. If you tell me the truth, I won't get mad. Mom. Did your mom also pull out that George Washington and the cherry tree bullshit? Having to pay $100 plus for glasses. Most mega churches. I remember an interview with Kenneth Copeland talking about how he needed a private jet to spread religion. And now the Lord has blessed him with 2 of them. Must be why he laughs so hard. Listen up, everything is a scam. Everything. But if you send me $19.99 I can show you how to turn the tables on the scammer and get his money. Limited time offer. Send money now. Do you have PayPal? Paying for cable TV. The whole idea of paying was to create a revenue stream separate from that of marketing. There are a few out there. HBO, I think, but generally we pay to access the content and still have to spend 20% of the time sitting through commercials. Then streaming comes in and we're free of advertisements again. For a bit. Now YouTube has tons of ads and other streaming services are talking about adding ads as well. Annual college tuition increases. Why aren't they held to a competitive pricing model as opposed to having to take out a mortgage to go to school? Everyone wants to talk about government paying for college education, but there is no conversation on why is it that expensive anyway, especially when some unis have endowments in the billions that just the interest on those funds could literally pay the tuition for everyone that goes through the door. Update. Whoa, this went crazy. Thank you everyone for keeping it to a civil discussion on the topic as opposed to going on political rants. And thank you for the awards, kind strangers. Not only does tuition go up every semester, but the full ride financial aid packages that are 90% loans by the last semester. This happened to me. I got a full ride. Literally the most money the school offered at $60,000. Graduated with $20,000 of debt even with grants. Interestingly, my sister got the same full ride 2 years later and it was only $54,000. Reducing a price by 1 cent to trick our brains into thinking a product costs less than it actually is. Scientific journal memberships. Where academics pay journals to publish their papers which are then peer reviewed by volunteers and the journals themselves are then sold by subscription. Not to mention that a huge part of scientific research, breakthroughs, and discoveries are often subsidized by the taxpayer, so even though I helped indirectly fund their research through the net, I can't read the results without a $200 monthly subscription. I'm sure some academic ethicist could probably speak to this issue in more detail than I can, but that's always bothered the duck out of me. Bottled water, like Dasani, especially in places like an amusement park that markups the price a shocking amount. Also the average markup of bottled water is 4,000%, which is ducking outrageous. BC water is literally free most places. I'm fuzzy on the details, but Warped Tour got in a lot of legal trouble here in Canada because of water. They were in the habit of taking any water bottles or drinks from you when they checked your bag at the gate. Then you get inside and everything costs money. The energy drinks and pop cost less than the water, so most people would buy those instead. One woman bought energy drinks all day because it was a hot summer day, and she wanted to save money for merch. She had a heart attack and died. Now they aren't allowed to confiscate water at the gate. College textbook prices. It's crazy how ridiculous expensive they are, putting even more of a financial burden on students. Diamond rings for marriage. Basically the entire wedding industry. Starting a new life together? Why not plunge yourselves into thousands of dollars of debt? Anything people do because of tradition is ripe for scamming. Marriage? Scam. Funeral? Scam. Baby shower gifts? Wildly overpriced. Marriage is actually great for health insurance and reduced taxes. You're thinking of weddings, which are a scam. Loot boxes in video games. Legalized gambling marketed to children. Homeowners insurance. Sorry, we're not selling new policies in your area right now because thing just happened where thing equals earthquake, wildfire, flood, and other things you might want to insure against. We don't cover that sort of problem. Where that sort of problem equals anything that actually happens to your house. Due to weasel wording loopholes, you submitted a claim. We're going to triple your rates forever after this. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.